Welcome to my review of the Dragonfly Red, which is a USB DAC plus preamp plus an headphone amp, as it says. But it won't be a regular one because I know that most people are gonna use this through their phones, but I'm gonna put it head to head against the good old-fashioned, the legendary Schiit stack. And if you don't know what a Schiit stack is, it's a combo of the Modi DAC and a Magni amplifier, which is an headphone amplifier. Anyway, maybe it's not a fair fight, but let's see. Okay, so first off, as you can see that the Schiit stack is already plugged in, and I'm gonna try to play this. Before that, let's talk a little bit more about the packaging that the Dragonfly Red comes in. As you can see, it's already opened by myself, and it comes with only two pieces of things. One is this Dragonfly Red, which looks like a USB stick, and this leather carrier, which I am very suspicious of because it just doesn't fit, and as you can see, you have to push really hard, and I'm scared that I'm gonna break this. So I'm never gonna put this in, but am gonna store the gap because I tend to lose these sort of things. Okay, so let's look at the box for a little bit. The decent box, which has also the advertisement going on and stuff that Audioquest, the makers of this teeny gadget, have advertised that they also make and they're trying to sell, which you would, I guess, will not need. And here are a bunch of things and some other things as well. So the main device is already out, but if you're still wondering what's inside, it's quite underwhelming. It has this little garbage manual, which no one will read. You can still find this on the internet, and something and a warranty statement. So this may come in handy. So that's about it. Okay, let's put that back in, which I may or may not need in the event I want to sell it. We'll get to that if I am going to sell this off. Garbage. So the Schiit stack is already plugged in to my desktop computer, and for this particular fight I'll be using the focal layer. The only reason I'm using the focals is because it has a 3.5mm jack, and the Dragonfly Red only has the option of a 3.5, whereas the Magni, the desktop amp, actually has a 1/4 inch, which is a welcome addition, and it should have that because it's meant for desktop use. So let's plug this in, and if you want to see the back, it's regular RCA to RCA, going from the DAC from in the bottom to the amp on the top. Let's just play some music. I'll be using Opeth's Damnation album. Windowpane is a good song to test music on. Let's First I have to like pick the DAC that I'm gonna choose. Let's go and see. I'm sorry, I have to like change the audio device because I'm using the Modi. Okay, so damnation. Okay, so let's play in the pain. So you can see that it's like loud. This is like as loud as I can go, and I don't think you need to go this loud anytime unless you wanna like hurt your hearing. We can't play more than that because then YouTube's gonna get me into trouble. Okay, so now let's switch from this big deal of a thing to this teeny weeny piece of hardware, the Audioquest Dragonfly Red. All I need to do is plug this in, just like a thumb drive. No drivers necessary. You don't need any driver to install this. Just plug that in like a thumb drive. Let's take out the headphones and let me keep the 3.5 to 1/4" adapter in, and you might be using IEMs, but I'll still be using the same headphone just to keep this fair. And let's just plug it in. Okay, and if you're seeing my computer right now, I'm not sure if you can, but you can see that it's already there. As I said, you don't need any external driver. So kudos to Audioquest for that. I'll be changing my device from the Modi to the Dragonfly Red, and we'll go from there. Let's see what happens. Oh, nothing. You might be tempted to ask like why there's nothing. The reason being, I'll have to restart the software. And okay, I'll be honest with you, this is not a fair fight till now, but I am going to make it fair just in a minute. Okay, see, now it's playing. And one big difference is when you're using this as just your primary device, you have to control the volume from your operating system. But if you're using the Schiit stack, then you have the Magni. So that's that. And let's see how high we can go. So I think you can already see that this is not as loud, but still this is good enough for your ears, or maybe bad enough for your ears, because you won't be listening to this volume unless you're super crazy or hard of hearing. Okay, now for the good stuff, and that is the specs. Or maybe that's not the really good stuff. Well, the Dragonfly Red is using the ESS Saber 9016 DAC, which has 8 channels, which is ideally a DAC meant for speakers, but they've made such a good implementation that that teeny thing sounds way cleaner to my ears than the Modi. Well, of course, there's the volume problem, because the Schiit stack is way louder, it's way more powerful. However, again, this is not fair to the Dragonfly Red, because it's meant to be portable and to be used with like cell phones or stuff, but I'll be using it as the desktop DAC for now. And as I was saying, the Dragonfly Red uses a Saber DAC, and it's a 24-bit DAC, and the highest possible frequency that it goes up to. The sample rate is going to be 92 kilohertz. On the other hand, the Modi is using the famous AKM AK4490, which are 2 channels. Again, if you don't remember what I just said, the Saber DAC has 8 channels, whereas the Modi's DAC chip has 2 channels, but you will be using only 2 channels as a headphone DAC. But that's like credit to Audioquest for getting something done using something that it's not meant for. And as for the sampling rate goes, the Modi is more powerful. It goes up to 24-bit and 192 kilohertz. So if you are into like bit rates and stuff, the Modi is better. And over here I have some notes. The Dragonfly Red actually has won several awards. The first one being the Absolute Sounds Product of the Year, the Stereophiles Product of the Year, the What Hi-Fi's Product of the Year, and also Computer Audiophile Stack of the Year. So that's some big achievements for this teeny weeny thingy. Now, as you saw, that the volume was not really great with the Dragonfly Red, and even though on this box and also on their Amazon page, let's see, okay, Dragonfly Red Amazon, if you go there, you'll see that they say that 2.1 volt output drives almost any headphones. So the keyword is almost. So as for the ears over here, it drives them quite nicely, and you won't be needing any external amplifier for this. But if you're using planars or harder to drive headphones, then this is a really bad idea. And it makes sense, because this is only it's just a DAC with a small headphone amp, which is a good amp, but not as good as the Magni. But we are not comparing the Magni with DAC amp combo. We are actually comparing this teeny thing with this giant, the legendary Schiit stack. So what I am going to do now is I'm going to use the Dragonfly Red as a preamp, and not going to use their headphone amp. I'm going to bypass that and use Schiit's Magni 3 as the headphone amp, and let's see how that performs. In order to do that, there's a little hassle. You'll be needing one of these guys. So this is RCA to a 3.5 millimeter cable. So this adapter is different from the RCA to RCA. So I'm gonna make the switch right now. Let's do this. It's pretty harmless. I'm just gonna take out the connection from the body and put in these cables to the ends of the Magni. And then what I'm going to do is unplug my headphone from the Dragonfly Red and just put this in. So the whole setup is, in summary, the DAC, the Dragonfly Red, going on to the Schiit Magni 3 as a preamp. So the Dragonfly Red is going to serve as a DAC and a preamp, and the Magni 3 is going to be the actual amp that I'm going to be using. So since this only uses a 1/4 inch, I am going to need this adapter and put this in. And now we are ready to actually do a fair bit of comparison. So let's play some music. So, do you hear that? That is loud. That is friggin' loud. And that's also freaking clean. This is amazing. So what I just did is I took the Modi out of the equation. However, if you're there are some caveats, and that caveat would be in the sampling rates. The Modi will go up to 192 kilohertz, but the DAC chip on the Dragonfly Red will only go up to 92 kilohertz, which, trust me, is sonically non-audible. So if you are going to ask me which one is a keeper, I am going to keep the Dragonfly Red as my primary DAC on this particular PC, and I would definitely prefer this over the Modi 2. So it's still going to be a little bit of shit, meaning I'm going to still use one shit product. And trust me, I'm not hating on the company, because you can see that I have several shit stuff. I have the Asgard over there. So to be frank, I'm not gonna use the Magni more than the Asgard. I'm gonna use the Dragonfly Red and the Asgard together, and it's gonna create some magic. And about the specs and the sampling rates that I just talked about, in my personal opinion, they are myths. You cannot hear them. So the Dragonfly Red is a clear winner, and it is a keeper. So that kind of means I don't need this box. I do not intend to sell this off anytime soon. So that's all for now. I'll see you guys again. And yeah, I know this is sort of a Zeus ripoff, but I will not be doing stuff that Zeus does, because he is so much better. Oh, again, I digress. That I know this was not a fair fight. What I should have done was make a comparison between the His little DAC, which is cheap, like $30, with the Dragonfly Red, but turns out the Dragonfly Red is so much more special that it deserved to fight against a giant, being a Goliath itself. Or did I say the other way around? Oh yeah, okay, him being the David and the Schiit stack being Goliath. Well, thanks for now, see you soon.